What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. JP Dividends here, bringing you guys another video, and today is episode 2 of my Road to 50,000 series. So I'm trying to get my portfolio to $50,000. As you can see, the current value is $38,000. We're going to jump into some of my holdings, how my portfolio has done this past month, as well as my annual dividend change, and basically just how I'm trying to get to $50,000. So let's jump right into it. So as I mentioned, current portfolio value is almost $39,000. At the very end of August, it actually was $39,000, slightly over, which I'll jump into a little bit later. But the current value, it's down a little bit since then. Current value, $38,860. Total invested, $36,676. And the total return here, last video I did this number minus this number. It still has that formula, except this time I have now added in my previous dividends that I've received. So that's all the dividends that I received for 2021 last year, as well as so far this year. So hopefully that continues to go up. I wanted to add the dividends in because that is a part of my return. I feel like that should be factored in. So had to add that in there. As you can see here, the portfolio value has been trending very steadily upward since October of last year. As you can see right here, it was at $39,050 as of August 31st. So down slightly since then. I don't really mind that, but getting super close to 40,000, which I'm really excited about, you guys. And then if you saw my last video, I made $29 in dividends. This is normally my lower paying dividend month, is the one with, what is it? It's like August, May, February, and then November. So I'm fine with that. That's expected. Dividend growth rate still pretty high there, almost at 10%. The yield's at 2.67%. Portfolio goal, like I said, guys, road to 50,000. It's 50,000. The money needed for that, we need $11,000 more. Right now, our percentage completed is 78%. So that's actually really good, because I think in the last video, it was like 74, 75. So if I can keep moving up, 3% a month, 2% a month, 4% a month, around there, I should be at 50,000 within pretty much no time, which will be nice. And then once I get to that 50,000 mark, if my portfolio yield is still at this number, this is how much I would be making on average in monthly dividends, which is really nice. And then taking a look at my monthly dividend comparison tab, as you can see here, August was up at $29 versus $22 the year before. The year before that, it was at $21. It's funny because the year before that, it was actually one of my highest paying months, but then now it's actually one of my lowest paying months, which I'm totally fine with. I already know that August, May, February, and then usually I think it's November are my lower paying months. Like I said, so it's really no problem at all. As long as these blue columns are above these green ones, that's kind of the main thing I'm looking for. So totally fine with me. Total dividends on the year, we're at $478. So we still got 4 months left. I think we'll probably be somewhere around the $7 to $850 range would be my guess. We definitely have a few pretty high paying months coming up here, especially with September, October, and December. Like I said, I don't expect November to be that good. Maybe it'll jump from, 29 to like 32 or 35, but compared to, September, October, and December, I think it's going to be a lot higher there. So I'll keep you guys posted. And then taking a look at my total portfolio value, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I finished August at $39,050. My total return, though, for the month was actually down 2%, because if you were to subtract this 39 from the 37 that I had the previous month, you'd get this 1,400, and I deposited 2,100. So finally, went up 1,400. That means I actually lost $704, which I'm not stressing that at all. One thing I did want to point out here is I did change the format of this slightly. One thing I did add in here is, obviously I'm about to break $40,000, so hopefully I do that by the end of September. But once I get to this $45,000 mark, that's $100 a month in cash flow on average. That doesn't mean every month is 100. Like I showed you, August is a lower paying month, but if September's a really high paying month, then on average, so that's the main thing. It's just that monthly average that I'm really looking at. But yeah, overall, I've been very happy to see this portfolio growth, especially when you look at this year compared to last year. Last year was a negative year in the market, but because I was investing consistently, not a ton, but still consistently for the most part, that really helped out. And as you can see, towards the end of the year, I started to pick it up a little bit more, which is good. But yeah, pretty consistent uptrend since October of last year. So hopefully that continues. And then when taking a look at my investing goal tab for this year, my goal was $30,000. Right now, I'm only at $12,648. So I do have a long ways to go. To be honest with you guys, like I said in the last video, I think it's going to be more around 23, 22. Kind of just depends on, me being consistent these next few months. But as you can see, July and August have been really good, especially if you compare those 2 months to April, May, and June. You saw a big jump up from those. So hopefully I continue to just basically invest consistently. That's the main takeaway there. And then one thing I did want to do this video is actually jump into my brokerage and my Roth and just show you guys the breakdown there. The 401k, it just tracks the S&P 500. That's one holding. So I'm not going to show you guys that. You're going to fall asleep. So let's take a look at the brokerage. So far year to date, I'm up 17%, slightly underperforming the market. The market's up 18% year to date. So I'm okay with that. I'm not too worried about being down 1%. Overall, the holdings that are doing good this year, let's take a look at that. So this is including dividends. Compared to my portfolio tracker, the holdings in this section, this is not including previous dividends earned. So that's why I wanted to pull up M1 Finance, give you guys a better idea. So year to date, Apple absolutely beasting up 52%, going just ham for me. Microsoft 38%, that's been really nice. Kind of a surprising one for me has been seeing Visa go up. And the reason that's surprising for me is I have owned Visa for so long, you guys. Like, this is one of the first stocks I bought in like July of 2020, August 2020, just kind of around like late summer, early fall time of 2020. So 3 years ago. Now, obviously, my balance in the stock started February 2021 because I transferred my account from Robinhood to M1 Finance. So this is when I first hit M1 Finance. But as you can see, I've only added $285 to this position. And for the longest time, Visa was so flat. Like, so flat. I mean, there are definitely times I could have bought the dip on it. I never considered selling it because it wasn't that huge of a position, but it's been nice to see it go up this year. That's just kind of my main takeaway. And then as you can see, quite a few other stocks here doing pretty good year to date. SCHD, one of my largest holdings, pretty much flat, which makes sense because I put a lot of my money into SCHD the past 6 months. So you got to give that some time to grow. Compared to some of these stocks up here, like these three, I've been holding these for a while. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing good year to date now, compared to if you buy a stock and you wait a week, you can't expect a good return. But if you wait 3 years, you should expect a decent return. So that's part of the reason these guys are up. And then SCHD is more flat. And then Appy is actually down 1.9% year to date, which is part of the reason I bought more of them in July. I felt like they had kind of a dip there, so I decided to pick up some more shares. Felt like it was a pretty good move. But yeah, that's the brokerage so far. Love to see it trending upward. We started out the year at about 13,000. Now we're at 19,000. So awesome to see. Let's jump into the Roth. All right. So the Roth year to date is up 2.1%. Now I already know there's going to be somebody who sees that and goes, man, why are you even buying individual stocks? Like, you might as well just own the S&P 500. Why do all this research? The thing you have to consider, like I just mentioned a few seconds ago, is if you've only been holding certain stocks for not that long, you can't expect them to have a really good return. And most of the money that was put in, like out of the $14,000 that this portfolio is worth, 5,000 of that has been deposited this year. Part of that money that was deposited this year into my Roth was being used to fund the 2022 deposits there so that I could max that out. And then I'm still trying to basically max out this year. So I'm putting in about, I think it's like like $650 a month, I want to say. It's around that. But that's basically the number I need to get this to 6,500 by the end of the year, which is totally fine. So the Roth is only up 2.19% year to date, which that's totally fine. A lot of the cash flow in this portfolio came in this year, so we got to give it time, let it marinate a little bit. And then when jumping into my Roth holdings here, best stocks I've had year to date have been Google, Costco, and the S&P 500, which that's been really good to see. And then my worst stocks have been Realty Income, United Health Group, Best Buy, and Vici Properties. Now, I'm not too worried about that. The REITs are having a down year. Even like Vici and O, if you go look at their earnings, and I talked about this like a few videos back, I'll link it up top here. If you go look at their earnings from a few weeks ago or like a month ago back in July, they were really good. Like, they were really good. So I'm not worried at all. Financially, they're looking pretty good. United Health Group's a beast of a company, but healthcare I don't think is doing as good this year, which that's fine. And then Best Buy, I know they've had a little bit of trouble, but honestly, like my worst stock right now is only down 10% in the Roth. So it's not that big of a deal for me. But if we look at my largest holdings, having out of my Roth, two of my largest holdings being down, that's part of the reason that I'm only getting this 2%. But honestly, this is a long-term game. I'm not going to sit here and stress out about, Realty Income or Vici. They're long-term holds. Same with SCHD, same with VU, same with all of these stocks I own. I'm holding them long-term. The only one I would maybe consider cutting and running on would be Best Buy, but it's only $431 in an almost $40,000 portfolio. So very small percentage. So that is where my portfolio is at as of August 31st. Overall, the market did have a negative month, but I'm not really too stressed. I think the main takeaway is just to keep investing consistently. And this doesn't go for me. This goes for anyone that's investing. Just keep investing consistently. That portfolio should continue to grow as long as you're buying really good companies or ETFs. So that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like down below. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.